Hello, everyone. The NIBM Gavel Club's Power of Dreams show is once again back live today with its fourth episode. And today we have a very interesting personnel here with us. He is a governance, risk, and compliance professional and is a passionate cybersecurity adoption evangelist, providing vital guidance to improve the cyber defenses whilst raising cybersecurity awareness. He is the founding member, the charter secretary, and past president of the ISC2 Chennai chapter in India, which is the first ever ISC2 chapter to be formed in India, and has also facilitated the formation of the ISC2 Colombo chapter in Sri Lanka. He is also the founder of Information Security Professional Associates and was instrumental in organizing the first ever CISSP exam in Sri Lanka through Information Security Professionals Associates in 2006. He is a past supervisor for the ISC2 credentials exam in India as well as Sri Lanka. He is a volunteer with the Center for Cyber Safety and Education, formerly known as ISC2 Foundation. He is also the recipient of the 2013 ISC2 President's Award, being the first person ever to receive this award in the SAARC region, and has an ISC2 honorary in the Information Security Practitioner category for Information Security Leadership Achievements in the Asia Pacific region. While being a regular invited speaker and panelist in cybersecurity conferences, seminars, and webinars, he serves as a Chief Information Security Officer and Cybersecurity Advisor in several organizations. He is none other than Mr. Sujit Chirsty, who is the Director of 7 Layers Seguro Consultoria Private Limited. Sir, we warmly welcome you to our show today.
Tanya, thank you so much for having me on the show and also for the warm and kind introduction. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. We are glad to have you today. And with that, we'll be moving on to the first question of the day. A successful life is gained if you dream. How did your childhood dream motivate and inspire you who you are today, sir?
Interesting question, Shania. And I think I had several dreams, and I'm sure my parents dreamed a lot too, right? And why I say my parents dreamed, they probably thought I should be a doctor or an engineer. And I guess that was their intent. But somewhere in the course of that journey, computers were never heard of at that point in time, or probably, very few people even had access to a computer. But I still remember the former Prime Minister, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe. He used to be the Education Minister at that time when I was in school. And he did speak about computers, and at that time, I remember the Asian Development Bank had donated a lot of books to the school library. So I went into the library, started looking at what this computing is, and they had a variety of books, some of them even in terms of space travel and how technology was aiding exploration. So deep down in my heart, I said, okay, I need to be a computer professional. But then at that time, you got to live your parents' dreams, right? So when I told my parents that I want to do something in computing, and I don't think they knew anything about computers, though my mom was a teacher, dad an accountant, they said, education first, then you do whatever you want. Right? So I went on to tick mark that education part of it, and completed my graduation. And it was only after that I started pursuing my career in, at that time it was, computer audits. And then now it is like cybersecurity, right? So the dreams don't There are several dreams, and you got to keep dreaming, and those dreams keep changing. And today, if you ask me, the dreams are different. Right? So all of us have to dream, and you've got to go after the passion. So more importantly, I would say it is more about being passionate about what your dreams are and how you want to go about achieving it. Yeah.
Yes, sir, definitely. I think it's mostly about the passion you have towards achieving your dream. Yes. So, moving on to the second question for the day. Today, you are a successful individual specializing in governance, risk, and compliance while raising awareness on improving risks related to cybersecurity. So, share with us the story of your journey about how you got there, sir.
A lot of hard work, right? And coupled with passion. So I'm not sure what it means to be successful. If you ask me, do I compete with my peers out there? Definitely not. Right? That's not the way I look at my career or where I have got myself. Am I a better person than what I was yesterday? Am I a better person now than what I was 1 hour ago? So how do I, evolve myself continuously and be selfless in terms of trying to help people? When I say help, uh, is there a way you can guide somebody, you can share some knowledge or help solve somebody's problems? So when you have those part of your agenda, then you can chase any dream. Right? And I've always said this to my friends. They ask me, who is your competition? I said, I don't have a competition. I still say that. Right? We do consulting, I do work for other people. People ask me, what is your competition? I say, there's no competition. Competition is myself. It is what I define as to what I want to achieve. So I guess that's where we need to be very clear in terms of what our dream is and how we want to achieve it. You got to be passionate about whatever you want to do. Right? It can be simple things, right? Be it cooking, be it going and cycling, or be it composing music. Everything has to come from within, right? It can't be somebody else's dream. So you got to dream your dream, and you got to achieve what you want to achieve. Shannon?
Absolutely, sir. I think that was a big piece of information. One's motivation should be their own selves. So, coming to the third question of the day, many definitions are given to the word success. How would you explain it, and what advice would you give to the youth interested in becoming successful?
So as I said, right, success for different people can mean different things. Right? Is it money? Is it fame? Or is it being first in everything you do? It can mean different things for different people. And the bottom line, what you got to look at is, are you content? Are you happy? You can't be greedy. Right? Does it meet your basic necessities? Can I be an influence to other people? Can I be a person who can enable, assist, help others in whatever I do? And so my word of advice to any youth today: be passionate about what you want to do. Go about it. Right? Money can't be a limitation. Situations around you cannot be a limitations. It is you who control all these things. It's not your parents, it's not your friends, it's not your peers. It's you. So if you don't set your eyes on what you want to get to, nobody will. Nobody can help you get there. So be it even, being knowledgeable on a particular subject, or for example, I mean, music is something everybody can relate to. If you want to play a musical instrument, you got to practice. It's not going to happen just like that. Right? Looking at an instrument or touching it is not going to make you a musician, right? So my advice would be passionate about it, hardworking, and also start looking at how do you keep improving yourself. You have to make mistakes, right? So there's you can't achieve what you want to achieve without making mistakes. So be bold to make mistakes as well.
Absolutely, sir. Mistakes is what makes a person better. Coming to the fourth question, technology has become a dominant part of our lives today. According to your point of view, sir, how would you like to describe its importance to the world and the future?
I agree with you. It's becoming very dominant. But what I would like to tell people is don't let technology dominate you. Don't become a slave to technology. Don't become addictive to technology. Use technology to achieve something. Use technology to deliver something. So you need to use technology as an enabler. And it's here to stay. It's not going to go away anytime sooner. Right? Today, even the electricity we have is generated using technology. The communication right now, what we have, this conversation is enabled through this technology. So we will find new ways of using technology. Are we in a position to master it and use it to the greater benefit of mankind?
Absolutely, sir. I think nowadays everything is based on technology. It's really hard to move on without it, but I think people should start adopting to something different as well. Coming to the fifth question, sir. How important is teamwork to build the road to success?
You take any sport, except for the even the individual sports, right? Any sporting activity, if you take, it's it's a team effort, right? Be it cricket, be it rugby, be it football. Even if you take individual sports, tennis, if you're in a doubles game, it's a team effort. Even when you're playing in your individual game, you're working together with your coach. That's teamwork, right? So in an academic area, the teamwork is between your teachers and yourself and your fellow colleagues and peers. So different people play different roles in everybody's life. You got to understand what is your role. Right? Sometimes it can be an individual objective you're trying to achieve, or it can be a collective objective, which is going to, be achieved by everyone together. So you got to communicate, you got to share, and you got to be ready to accept a failure. And more importantly, you got to be honest with yourself, honest with your peers, and honest with your colleagues. If you, let's say, if you made a mistake, you got to accept, yes, I did a mistake. The moment you tend to cover up with excuses, then it is not going to get anyone anywhere else. So I mean, there are a lot of words describing this thing. What I just told you is that you got to be yourself. You got to be honest with yourself first for you to be honest with everybody else. So integrity is essential to be a part of a successful team.
Absolutely, sir. That line, be ready to accept mistakes, will be a great piece of information for our audience. Coming to the sixth question, sir. Sometimes we must face many challenges to achieve our dream, which is natural. What were the challenges you came across and how did you face them?
Challenges. There's so many challenges. I don't know whether we will have all the time to discuss all the challenges. Uh, Sometimes it is about getting the right material or even getting the books for you to study, right? I don't want to go into the details of it. There was a time in my life I didn't even have textbooks to face a public exam, right? But yet I did, and I still can say that with all the effort I put in, with my the help from my teachers, my parents, and some of my friends, I still did well. And I cleared the exams, and I would say like probably stood first. So I've even lost my job, right? And I was like told overnight saying thank you very much, you're done, right? So and that too if you when you're overseas and you lose your job just like that, and when you have very little money in your hand, how do you face, right? So I would say challenges can be in any form. It could be it could be money, it could be resources, or sometimes it can be even time. How do you make good out of everything what you have? So again, I go back to that one thing: be passionate about what you want to do, right? And I did not study as my base. My base is not computing. I come from an accounting background.
Yeah.
So that shift to computing and then to the place where I am today, it can only be achieved through so many challenges, so many obstacles, I would say. And also, the only thing which helped me to go past that was that my passion. Because I wanted to be what I wanted to be, or wanted to be better than what I am today.
Absolutely, sir. I think passion is what is important to bring a person to achieve their dreams. Coming to the seventh question, sir. What role does patience and determinations play when you step into the society and try to pursue your dream?
Okay. You've got to be persistent. Now, when I would like to give you an example. Maybe it's beneficial for everyone. When I became a qualified, certified information system security professional in Sri Lanka, I was one of the few, I would say. I won't say I was the only one. There were a few others, and some of them were overseas. And even for me to do the exam, I had to travel overseas, which means the exams were not available on the ground. So when I went overseas to do the exam, it was a lot of effort, right? One, you have to get used to the place where you're going to write the exam. You've got to get used to the climatic conditions. You need to be able to, be familiar with the surroundings. And it is not easy, right? I mean, in the sense, right? Why I say it's not easy, it was a 6-hour one exam. You got to do it in one shot. So I, at that point in time, thought there could be so many other people who may not be able to go overseas and do this exam, or may not even have the means to even think of it. So when I started talking about it in 2003, 2004, 2005, and I used to tell people, why don't you look at cybersecurity as a career? The first time we held the exams in Sri Lanka, it was only 4 people who sat for the exam. Just 4. And getting the next exam in and getting the number of people to do the exam was also a challenge. Even today, people are very reluctant to face the exam because it is a very tough exam. It's not easy to clear it without adequate preparation. So bringing the exam to Sri Lanka, getting people in Sri Lanka to pursue this exam, I would say I worked really hard for it, right? I mean, it's mostly trying to tell people, guys, there's opportunity, go for it, you know, this is what you should be doing. So if you look at a profession as certified information security auditors, systems auditors, and even security professional, have played a significant role in the industry. And if you speak to several people out there, they would say, Sujit, I mean, we can't forget those good old days, like, you know, where we used to meet, we study together, we probably prepared for the exams together. So I guess it's about, again, right? I mean, for me, it is that passion which drove everything. Right? Even as I talk, right? I mean, I'm talking about so many initiatives, being the president of the ISC Squared Colombo chapter right now. So do we have a way to help people to get to the next stage? If you recall, I even shared a session which we plan to do this Friday, saying, you know, you can share it with your students, right? And we're trying to see how do we, you know, help people gain that knowledge without having to spend anything, at least to the students. So every challenge you see, you've got to find ways to solve it. It cannot be a problem. You have to find solutions. And we can always find those solutions as long as we stay focused.
Absolutely. So your story inspired me, and I'm sure it will be a big inspiration for our audience as well. Coming to the eighth question for the day. So how would you describe the importance of having passion in pursuing your dream?
As it started, right? When I started, I said, there can be a dream every day. There can be a new dream. Some dreams you will realize, some dreams you may not realize. But something which you believe, you've got to be passionate about it. If you believe that you want to achieve that dream, you've got to be passionate about it. The passion is the only thing which is going to drive. It's not your parents, it's not your teachers, it is not even your friend, your best friend. Because it is you at the end of the day. Be it anything. Do you want to be known for something? Then you've got to, you know, learn everything about that subject. You can probably go to the experts or your friends and ask, I'd like to know about this particular thing. They probably would tell you, okay, these are things you can do, or this is where you would get. And not everybody would tell everything either. So you need to find ways to keep that passion alive. As long as you have it, success is yours. And you get there. You get there. So even right now, even as a country, we see so much of challenges, and mostly you see a lot of negative news, right? And sometimes people may feel, okay, that's it, it's done. What do we do from? What do we do? Do we even have a future? Yes, we do have a future, because there are things which is within your control. So can you do something? Can you learn something? Can you innovate? Can you be a better person than who you were yesterday? Right? So our creativity cannot die because there is a problem. Right? Sometimes it might be a very simple idea. Find ways to go for it. You may not need $1 million to do something. Start small. And I mean, even when we were talking about getting the exams down to Sri Lanka for the CISSP exams, and a lot of people said it may not happen, it will never happen. But we made it work. And today the exams have gone online. But the thing is, till 2012, the exams were done physically in the ground, right? So people could sit for the exams without having to travel. So like that, there could be so many dreams in everyone. Go for it.
Absolutely, sir. Hard work, passion, and self-control I think, are the main elements to achieve your dreams. Now we are coming to the last question of the day. Sri Lanka is going through a major economic crisis and economic mismanagement. This has caused a major pause for certain careers and fields, and we are being made to adapt to a new normal. What kind of message or advice would you like to give to the audience regarding this matter, sir?
I wouldn't dwell into the current situation. We shouldn't be. Of course, we need to recognize there is a problem. But why should anyone become desperate? We shouldn't become desperate or become worried about something which we have no control over. So there are things which we can do within our own limits. For example, learning something new. Nobody can control you from doing that. If you today, as long as you have internet connectivity and a device, you have ample material out there to learn a new skill. Not everything will be taught in the university or the campus or in a classroom. There are things which all of us will have to acquire to be a professional who we want to be. So all what we need to stay focused is, are we looking out for those opportunities which are in demand out there? For example, today, people are talking about the need to be a data scientist. So are we acquiring the skills? Are we learning those skills which help us to be a data scientist? Or let's say you want to be even take on my profession. Are we learning the basics? So let's take it upon ourselves that the skill development and acquainting ourselves with the tools and techniques is our responsibility. The government will not be able to do. Your parents may not be able to do it. Your teachers, they may be able to guide you in a direction saying, this is what you need to do. But you've got to be always on that exploratory mode, discovery mode. The moment you switch off the discover mode, you're not going to move forward. You will stay there and you'll keep complaining about everyone around you. You would say, government didn't do that. Or you would say, my teacher didn't do that. Or you would say, your parents didn't do that. Right? All these people can only be an enabler to a certain limit. The rest is all in our hands. How do we make good use of it? So again, I always say, I like the Nike's taglines. The tagline. If you recall Nike's tagline, it says, just do it. So what does it take for us to just do that? So in order to do something, do we wait, thinking that tomorrow will be better and we will do it tomorrow? And a lot of times what I always see is delaying certain things. Like saying, okay, I will do it later. I will do it after 5 minutes. I will do it after 10 minutes, or I will do it next week. So the moment you start acquiring that attitude, You can't blame somebody else because it was you who have to do it. So if I were to summarize what is success and what is that we should be looking at, you've got to be passionate about it. You've got to dream big. Right? You don't have to dream while you're asleep. You can stay awake and dream that big dream. What is that you want to be? So sometimes a big dream can be broken down into multiple parts. And the other thing is, in order for you to get to your dream, you need to also see what are those new things which are happening. Sometimes that dream which you are dreaming may change. It can be a new dream. Be honest to yourself, be passionate. And I always say, be honest in everything you do. When you do good things, it's easier to be honest. When you really make a mess out of things, that's the time your character is going to be tested. Are you ready to own it up? If you're the team lead, if you're going to be the leader and you're part of a team whose responsibility is to lead everyone, do you point a finger at your team members and tell them, you screwed up and that's why we are here? Or do you stand up there and say, guys, it's me. Let's put this behind. Let's learn from our mistakes. Let's move forward. Life is all about striking that balance. And there is no textbook answers for all your problems. You will not find. If every problem had a solution in a textbook, then we would not be humans. We would be all mechanical robots. So in order for us to be human, and I think we need to be compassionate, we need to be considerate. And I guess you also need to respect your fellow human beings. So the moment you treat them equal, and then you take it upon yourself that as an individual, this is my contribution to my home, to my society, and to yourself, then it's easy for you to get where you want to get. And there'll be people who will come into your life for short time periods. But there'll be some people who will travel with you the whole 100 years. Right? And I was lucky, and I must say, I was very lucky that I had good mentors. Even right now, right? I mean, I had good mentors. And sometimes they have challenged me in certain situations. Now, I mean, for example, for what I'm today, right, I remember having a conversation with the present group CIO of John Keel's Holdings, Ramesh Shamulanand. When I went and asked him, I want to be part of his team, He paused for a while and he asked, are you a CISSP? Are you this? I said, no, I'm not. And he said, he paused for a while, he went back to doing whatever he was doing, and then he noticed that I was still standing there waiting for an answer. He said, if you have it, then let's talk about it. 2 months down the line, I went back to him saying, boss, I got it. I must say, like him, I've had the opportunity of working with the chairman of the TVS group. Right. When I met him in 2012, I learned the simplicity from him. He was the chairman of a large group, I would say the 6th or 7th largest enterprise in India. So when I went to see him, somebody at the door asked me who I was, and they gave me a small sheet. I wrote my name and gave it to him. He walked all the way from his office. He came to the main door. He received me from the door and he took me back to his room. And we were having a conversation, and he was asking me, what are you planning to do? And I said, I probably would go back and do something on my own. So by then I had already started on my own, and I had started later. And he said, can you give me your business card? So I said, so I mean, I'm not that a great person who I can, share a business card of mine. He said, no, you're a businessman. You give it to me. So I gave him a card. And then he looked at the card and he said, are you working here or is this your own thing? So I said, this is my own thing. Then he asked, why are you calling yourself the vice president? Then I told him, so that gives me enough time to, make decisions. He said, no, if it's you are the CEO or you are the chairman or you are the director. Change it and make the decision on the spot. Don't delay decisions. It was a very thoughtful advice he gave me at that point in time. And I guess I've gone beyond the business cards today. And so the same way, I mean, I've had bosses who have probably had the confidence to give me work. I mean, when I was with KPMG, they had advertised for a position to be the computer help desk in charge. So I applied for it. And when I asked, when I went for the interview, they asked, what is your experience you have in computers? I said, I have none. Then they asked me, what makes you think that we should give you the job? I said, give me 1 week. I will learn whatever you want me to do. And if I don't perform the following week, I'm good to, look at something else. So they said, okay, 1 week on the job training. I started doing help desk support. When people have problems, I'm the go-to person. So I started, that's what I said, right? In the beginning, you've got to have that attitude to help. It can be a big issue or a small issue. I used to have people calling me and say, Sujit, printers are not working. So I got to visualize sitting in Auckland, what this guy in Dunedin is experiencing. And he says his printer is not working. Those are the days we didn't have these video calls and things like that, right? It's a call which comes through your landline. And when I ask him, he would say, the thing is not printing. And I got to get these reports out and say, hold on, buddy, let's go through step by step. So the first thing I ask, can you just check whether it is powered on? Or whether it's plugged into the power outlet? Then he'd say, yeah, it's powered. Can you check whether it's switched on? He'd say, yeah, it's switched on. Have you switched on the printer? Oh my God, I've not switched on the printer. It's simple things. And so sometimes people are challenged with certain technologies. So all I'm saying is find reasons to be helpful, find reasons to be the change, you can influence, and success will always be yours.
That was a very interesting story, sir. And I guess I must say, passion and patience are two main key elements when it comes to achieving one's dreams.
Absolutely. And even if you go and talk to people who are, achieved great things out there, much greater things, right? So that's what I said. You can't measure success with somebody else's success. It is what you define as success. If you want to have $1 million in your account, that's your objective, right? You can't use it as a measure to compare with somebody else who has not got that. His success could be something else. Money alone can't be the deciding factor for success. Of course, it is essential. But are you able to live a life which can influence others? That is success. It's not your money, it's not your designation, it's not your fame. Are you able to connect with those people who are in need? The people have different needs, right? So how do you get there? How do you help?
Absolutely, sir. Now we have sadly come to the end of the show. I hope every one of you enjoyed today's session. And sir, thank you so much for being here with us today, despite your busy schedule, and for that amazing motivational experiences and words for me as well as the audience. Thank you so much, sir.
I have one remark to make, Shania, if you would allow me.
Yes,
Those
sure.
of you who have not even thought of pursuing a career in cybersecurity, I encourage all of you to take a moment and look at what this whole thing is about. It's not about coding. Coding is not the only thing out there. There's so many opportunities. So if any of you need help, guidance in pursuing a career in cybersecurity, I'll be more than happy to mentor you all. Right? I'll find time to do this for you. One. Number two, we as the local chapter for IC Squared, we do a lot of programs, and we have decided to extend all the programs free of charge to the students. That's the compassion I'm talking about. That's the influence I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah,
Not about
thank
my
you.
success. Can I make somebody else more successful than me? Can I have more people pursuing a career in whatever I am specializing in? Right. So I'll be more than happy to help any one of you in any which ways, right? So for guidance, or even getting into a call and talking about a problem, we'd love to do that.
Thank you so much, sir, for that amazing opportunity. I'm sure our audience would be very thrilled to hear that. So I hope every one of you enjoyed today's session. So stay safe and look forward to our next episode. Thank you. I'm your host, signing off.